Raw kicked off this week in the same way it ended last week. Dolph, Drew and Braun came out, accompanied by the guys who helped them take out the Shield last week, and after recapping the ending of last week's Raw, queued up a video package that then recapped what the three of them had just recapped themselves moments earlier. Storytelling. This brings out the Hounds of Justice and all hell ensues after taking out the majority of the talent around the ring. The Shield stand tall holding goddamn axe handles as the Dogs of War, yep you heard that right, watch on from the stage. After the break, Baron Corbin tells the Shield boys that they need to leave the arena or Seth and Roman will face being stripped of their titles and be arrested. The Hounds agree to leave, but something says we haven't seen the last of them. Next up, Nikki Bella defeated Ruby Riott after the Riott Squad trashed the Bella Twins locker room earlier in the night. Nikki was accompanied by her sister, which confuses the crap out of this guy as she's in a match at Hell in a Cell for the SmackDown Live brand. Does this mean she's a free agent or simply has the power to go where she likes? Who the hell fucking knows? Big Show is back next to introduce legends from Connor's Cure in a brilliant segment, but for some strange reason he's in his fucking ring gear despite not wrestling a match in months. What? 3 segments in and we've already got our second recap package of the night. It's almost as if WWE are telling us that we don't need to watch every week. Just pick a random night to watch Raw and we'll use that show to recap what happened on the previous shows. Excellent. Sound that squash alert, as Akam and Razar have brought their little brother to the ring again to see them squash 2 local jobbers. The 2 nobodies fight bravely, but 2 minutes in and 1 Super Collider later, this match is done. All the time, Maverick stands at ringside grinning like a schoolboy who's just discovered the internet contains special pictures. Oh my days, we have arrived at our next recap package, and this time it's time for SmackDown, Raw's rival brand and arch enemy no less. That makes it 3 recap packages already, and spoiler alert, there's going to be a few more. Finally, a segment worth our time. Triple H makes his way to the ring, and the fact that this got the pop of the night tells you everything you need to know about the booking of this show. Triple H says that Undertaker being bothered by Shawn Michaels' opinion last week shows Trips that the dead man has lost belief in himself. He goes on to say that since the 4 matches with HBK and Triple H, Taker's lost the streak and lost himself, going as far to say that today the dead man is just a reputation. We would later see Undertaker will be announced from Raw next week, so let's see what he has to say then. Guess what, you crazy smarks? It's been nearly a whole 15 minutes since a recap package, so let's throw one in here. What makes this one even better that this is a recap segment of the start of the show, which was a recap of last week's show containing a recap. It's a recap of a recap of a recap. Recapception. At last, some action that may be worth sticking around for. Dolph and Big Mac defend their tag team titles against the B-Team. The match went as expected, and Michael Ziggler, yes I'm calling him that now, got the win after the Clay Zag. That one's not so good. After the bout, Seth and Dean attack the champs, forcing them to retreat, but they'll be arrested. What are they thinking? One segment. One friggin' segment. That's how long it's been since the last friggin' recap video. Well, here's another one. This time it's recapping the now infamous Hell in a Cell match between Mankind and The Undertaker. Nice to see, but come on, enough with the recaps now. Well, I spoke too soon, didn't I? In the very next segment, we see Kevin Owens come out and we instantly cut to a recap of what he did last week. And that's not all. Before we cut back to KO in the ring, we go backstage to see Dean and Seth being accosted by the constable. What is going on with this TV show? Well, this was a weird one. Seth tells Baron that the Shield hasn't returned as Roman isn't there, so they can't be arrested as it's just Seth and Dean. But that's not all. Seth tells Corbin that he has proof that he falsified a police report last week and brings out a local sheriff to arrest him. Baron asks to be called to talk to Seth alone, in which Seth agrees. Outside the office, Seth tells Dean that it's all been cleared up, and the camera pans to the badge to reveal that the sheriff's name was also Ambrose. Wow, I can't even make any jokes here. It's just like... No, I have nothing. Let's move on.
Oh yeah, Owens came to the ring, didn't he? Well, he was meant to be in competition with Tyler Breeze, but the match never got started as KO decided to murder him instead. After delivering an apron powerbomb, KO tells us he was asked to come back by Baron Corbin 1 week after he quit and has been given permission to do whatever he wants. He blames his new freedom on Bobby Lashley for injuring his friend Sami Zayn in a move that would have been fairly decent 2 months ago when Zayn actually got injured. KO has literally not cared one bit until now. Yeah, top friend mate. You know, I'd completely forgotten what the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe story was. It's a bloody good job we were going to recap this SmackDown Live feud on Raw then, isn't it? So Bobby Roode and Chad Gable are officially in the tag division now. Wow. Oh, how the glorious have fallen, eh? Well, they defeated the Ascension, but Rude barely managed to get off the apron in the entire match. The evidence suggests this is heading somewhere, but I'll be fecked if I have any idea where. Backstage again, and Dolph, yep, I'm also using that one too, are not happy with Dean and Seth being back in the arena. Baron is seemingly being blackmailed by the Shield now, as he announces that Seth and Dean are not only allowed back in the arena, they also have a tag title shot at Hell in a Cell. This is assumingly as a result of Seth accusing Baron of falsifying the police report from last week, blackmailing their way to a tag title shot. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the baby faces. Rousey and Natalya beat Bliss and James in our next segment. They've even used a heart attack in a nice little tribute to Natalya's old man Jim Neidhart. But the big story is that Rousey has weak ribs and Bliss may have found her opening for the match in Hell in a Cell. Do I think Bliss has found her upper hand? Not a chance. Well, if you can't beat them, join them. So it's time for another feckin' recap segment. This time it's Becky and Charlotte's story from SmackDown. For the life of me, I have no idea why Raw is promoted SmackDown, but at this point I just give up. Even on my worst day, I'm still the best. That's the quote Ronda gave Charlie backstage. That's the story they're telling here. I have defended Ronda, mostly to Zach, but I draw the line at this. I love Ronda, I really do, but do not sacrifice your women's roster to her when she could be less than 100%. Segment of the night was next, and my god, it was a good one. Elias is in the ring and does his usual show, and this time it's Mick Foley's turn to interrupt him. Elias tells Foley that he used to be great, but now he is a broken man. This sets off Foley into a great promo where he announces to us all that he will be the special referee for Braun and Roman at Hell in a Cell. And that's not all, he also makes a match tonight for old time's sake, and Elias is up next against Finn Balor. Finn beats Elias next. That was worth it. Time for another 205 Live guy to get the Raw call up. Lashley is working out backstage when Leo Rush comes and wants to motivate him. It seems that Lashley has found himself that mouthpiece which he so definitely needs, so maybe, just maybe, I might be able to watch the Lashley segments from now on, though I wouldn't hold my breath. Finally, we have the main event of the show. Wow, this has been one hell of a long show. Braun is back out to end the show as we started it. He calls out Roman, and after a few moments of nothing, Roman obliges. Even though Seth said he wasn't in the building anymore, continuity. Braun meets him on the stage and looks to put him through the announce table, but Super Roman fights back valiantly and lands a huge Samoan drop off of the stage to close the show. Wow, that felt longer than 3 hours, but that was Monday Night Raw. Now let's see what Jack thought about it.